Hi, I'm Enrique Dans, Professor of Information Systems and Technologies here at IE Business School. Earlier this week we hosted the conference Social Networks and Efficient Space for Your Brand, and I had the opportunity to catch up with some of the guest speakers and to ask them a couple of questions. Basically, the first one was, what do you think will be the characteristics of the social networks 2 years from now? Social networks will be more or less what?
If we are communication tools, our main goal is to be on the pockets of our users, and that's not just phones. We think about portable media players, we think about video games consoles, we're going to be here.
I think the devices are going to change. We're seeing the iPhone and the new smartphone BlackBerry devices giving a much better experience on social networks. And all that kind of devices will become even more relevant for social networks.
Actually, from Facebook's perspective, we don't really see ourselves as a social network. We see more that the web is going social, so the whole internet, and it's not a new thing. We're just trying to emulate what happens in real life.
From our perspective, I think we are massive advocates of social networks, and we think those should be an extension of your social life. We see that your professional life is slightly different, and we think that you need a professional network where you manage your business life.
Now we must integrate more and more things. Advertisement as contents, but contents as social objects to put in between your users. We've seen that with YouTube on 20. YouTube on 20 is not something between you and me. It's something that we share and we've taken from traditional media.
There's another very important issue, which is data portability. That means that you're going to be able to expand your activity on social networks in other portals.
Social networks will start to consolidate, so I think it doesn't make a huge amount of sense to have a large number of social networks.
What we're achieving now through technology, it's the ability to optimize and communicate in a more efficient and effective way. In this sense, we see ourselves as a technology company working in building a communication platform.
Interesting. And a critical one. If I look at the evolution of advertising on the web, I feel kind of disappointed. I don't quite like the way it's been going since we started. Could you convince me that the coming of the corporations into the social networks will be somehow different?
So far, it's been a model, the traditional advertising model is very push oriented in marketing sense, so there is not much targeting, there is no user experience, and you interrupt the user experience of any media he's consuming. And what we believe it's going to work, what we're trying to do now, and it's already live, is adapt the formats to the way, the advertising formats to the way people communicate, and give them a chance also to express their like or dislike of certain advertising, and we will adapt our formats and the way we advertise based on the consumer opinions.
We must start conversation between companies and users, and this is not going to be on traditional formats. For starting this conversation, formats have to be new. They have to be really less aggressive, more focused on conversation. Mm-hmm. And first of all, users of social networks are prescriptors. They're recognized on their community. So if companies want to approach those users, they must give a value. Social networks are not a place to sell something, but to start a conversation with the users about your product, about what you're going to do, and you will receive much more feedback if you offer something than if you just sell something.
You know, I think one of the great advantages that all networks offer is that we have very detailed profile information about our users. What that allows from the members' point of view is when we work with corporations and brands, is it allows us to very precisely identify an audience that is most relevant to a particular corporation's message. So we think that in professional networks, business information and business advertising, if properly targeted, actually can be additive to the experience.
Online marketing is not as old as other advertising campaigns like television, radio, or paper, who have been there for 20 years. I think we're all learning a lot from how to make a better experience for users, and at the same time, how to allow advertisers to take part of that. So I think it's going to be very fast because both companies, advertisers, and users, I will also say, is demanding it. But it will take some time, and it will take a lot of creativity also from agencies who also have a big role when it comes to tell the big brands how to position their brand online. I think it will take a little bit of time, but it will definitely be very, very positive.
So we have heard a range of diverse opinions. I would like to point out these two. Facebook is a technology company. The web is a social network. This one's pretty good. Or we've heard about the importance and evolution of mobile devices and the difference between social networks and business networks. And regarding advertising on the net, we see that today's guests have very different strategies, ranging from less intrusiveness to greater targeting, but they all agree that more focus is necessary.